Hello there and welcome to Stylirish TV, where today we're meeting Gerald Kean. How are you?
I'm good, thank you very much.
It's really an honor to meet you. First of all, I would like to say this.
Thank you very much. A pleasure for me to be here.
Thank you. And listen, just to me about your job. How did you start, with the profession of lawyer?
Well, I started because my father and mother, Lord of mercy on their souls, they weren't sure what profession I was going to show an interest in. And I was kind of going through school not sure myself. And then one Sunday, my uncle, Lord of mercy on his soul, who was a solicitor, came down in a beautiful car, lovely sports car. I think it was the first I ever saw. And I said, what does he work at? And they said, he's a solicitor. So I said, I want to be a solicitor. So it was really my uncle and his car that impressed me more than anything else. And then I worked very, very hard and went to school in Cork. Kalash to Creasely, I was very proud of, and then my father, who was in the Guards, was transferred and moved, and then I went to University College Dublin, then the Law Society in Ireland, and then went into the legal profession, and I've enjoyed it ever since.
So for you, let's say it's a big passion, right?
It is. I love it. I love it. I'm in work. I mean, unless when I collect Kirsten, my daughter, and have to drop her to school, I'm separated. So I've Kirsten, 2-3 days a week. When I drop her to school, I start late, but otherwise I start about 6 o'clock, 6:15. So I'm an early starter, and I love it. And I love meeting people. I meet people from all walks of life, from Italy, from Ireland, from England, and the problem is a lot of the time, because we have celebrity clients, people assume that it's only celebrity clients, but it's not. We actually would have a very large accident claims practice.
Right.
So people in accidents, or people with problems in the workplace, or people buying and selling houses. That's the mass of the practice. That's the big side of the practice. But, in this country, when you act for 30 or 40 international celebrity clients, I think people assume that your whole day is looking after them, and it's not really,
But, everybody knows that you enjoy very much, social life as well. And
yeah. Well, I only go out maybe 6-7 nights a week. I wouldn't go out any more than that. I mean, I only like to go out 7 nights, maybe sometimes 6 a week. So, yes, I do enjoy going out. And I've stayed in a couple of times last year, and I was lonely. So I decided to go out again. And, I do go out a lot, but I don't drink a lot, and I don't stay out late a lot because I have an early start. But I'm out most times, yeah.
And listen, tell me also about other passions in your life. So which kind, for example, of hobbies or interests you have?
Well, I have a lot of interest. I mean, first of all, I love cooking, and I love going to restaurants, and I travel a lot of restaurants around the world. I love soccer. I'm a big fan of Manchester United and Inter Milan. And I love red wine. I love a nice cigar. I love music. And I have an unusual taste for a fellow my age. I'm into the Script and Eminem and the Republic of Loose and the Kings of Leon. So it wouldn't be your normal. I think people my age like Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin and Neil Diamond. But I have different tastes in music than a lot of people,
And listen, back of course, to your profession. What is your opinion, for example, about the current situation that we are living now in Ireland?
Well, I have very strong views. It's difficult. It's very difficult, and it's going to be very difficult. I think there's a few things that annoy me. Number one is in this country, it's black or white. Everybody goes from one extreme to the other.
Yeah.
I think there's always, people now saying capitalism is to blame. We should follow left-wing socialist policies. I always think there's good in both. I think the problem is greed, mismanagement, and poor management, and negligent management of the economy over the last few years. I think we can get out of it. I don't believe in negativity. I get disappointed when I hear Joan Burton or somebody describing the country as banjaxed. I worry for our children, our grandchildren, but I'm absolutely confident we can get out of it if there's strong leadership. Now, whether we have strong leadership or not, we don't at the moment, and whether any other party can provide it, I have concerns. I'm not sure. The biggest problem here is waste in the country. We're wasting terrible amounts of money. And if you deal with waste, then what happens is the money is more constructively used. I mean, a good example of this would be the HSE. I mean, the HSE is in charge of looking after health here. We have 15 billion euros a year in health. 44 cents in every euro is on administration. This is pen-pushing bureaucrats. Instead of looking after the people who matter, the nurses, the doctors, the maintenance staff, the cleaning staff, they're the people who matter. They're the people who are frontline services. But we hide behind this layer of bureaucracy, and people don't seem to understand this. And the problem is that many of these people who need to be made redundant, who are pen-pushing bureaucrats, who probably are I've no doubt, very good people themselves, but they're in a system that's all wrong. They need to sit down together and work out that 75% of them need to be sacked or let go, and they're not going to do that. So You know, 44 cents in every euro in this country's administration. In Great Britain, it's 7 cents in every euro equivalent, and in Florida, it's 6 cents in every euro. So it's not the amount of money, it's the waste of money. And there's many other things we could do. I would sell off a lot of our family jewels, semi-state bodies like Aer Lingus, Bord Nimona, the ESB, sell them off and get the money in to deal with the situation. I would certainly suspend the Shannon for a couple of years. I'd cut down our politicians half in number. I would abolish almost entirely the quangos, these quasi-non-governmental agencies, because in my day, the regulatory responsibilities vested with civil servants and departments, and I trust them, with the expertise also being available to them. But now it's quangos, and billions of euros being spent on them. We've semi-state bodies that are a disgrace. We have jobs for boys. And I'd like to see more women in business and more women in politics. They're not as egotistical as men. They're not as negligent. I think they're better business heads. And I don't like to generalize, but I do think that most of the people who work for me are female, and they're fantastic. They're better than I am.
I like this positive vision that you have, like, thinking that, of course, we have a positive future ahead of us. And for example, for people that would like to start a business today, what would you suggest them?
I would tell people who are starting business today, do what I've always done, which is remember that you build it on a sound base. So when I set up practice as a lawyer, my family, my cousins, my friends, my neighbours, I go and say, please give me business. It's like I meet you today and I say, here's my card. If ever I can do anything for you or your family, please ring me. And you build the base on people, not on a property bubble, not on a false economy, not on even one big client. I mean, there's a danger if I was asked many years ago if I'd act for a very large multinational company, and I said no, because if I acted for that company, I couldn't meet people like you or other people coming in today to see me, because I'd be working full time for them. And then after 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, they could say, goodbye, I'm out, no more, you're not our lawyer anymore. And then I'm ringing you up saying, sorry, I couldn't ring you for 3 years, now I'm available. So it's people, it's confidence, it's a commitment, focus, hard work, and enjoyment with a smile. Don't go to work. If you're not happy with work, stay at home. Throw the social welfare and watch TV all day. I mean, if you want to do something that you love, do it with a passion. Don't accept failure. Don't accept no. But I think confidence is also important. Because if you say to me, please let me look after you, I can do this for you, then you feel happy. Where if you say, if you want any help, give me a call and walk away. And that's what's wrong with the government, because the international perception is that I think it's much worse than what we're in. I mean, if we have a positive attitude, positive outlook, and the people of Ireland, like the people of Italy, like the people of Germany, the people of France, are wonderful people, but they do need some leadership. They need somebody to say, you are great, let's get out there and go. Yes, we have problems, we have obstacles, but I come across people every day, like yesterday on a Sunday, I was with a friend of mine who's a child that is terminally ill. Now that's a real obstacle. Their child is going to die. And that to me, or last Thursday I was with some people who are homeless, and they're genuinely homeless, and they've nowhere to live, and it's freezing cold. They're obstacles. I mean, we talk about obstacles because, we're not getting enough holiday pay or whatever. No. Face reality. We've got to help those who are less well off. We've got to help the sick. We've got to help the front line. But we then have to cut the wastage of costs at the top. So I'm back to that point. The same applies in principle in business. And the best time to set up a business is now. Recession is now. Now it's time to start a business. Rents are low, costs are low, raw materials are low, and it can only go up. Where the worst time to set it up probably was in the Celtic Tiger, because you were on a very false level that was going to collapse. So please don't be afraid to set up your own business, but concentrate on family and friends, brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, neighbours, and say, please help me. If it's a hairdressing, if it's a clothes shop, if it's a gym, if it's a law practice, if it's medical profession, that's what I say.
Fantastic. And listen, we are almost very close to Christmas, right? And what is, let's say, your spirit of Christmas, or any memories that you have, for example, when you were a child?
I have great memories. My parents had very little money, and they used to do a small little bed and breakfast business in the hope of getting loads of Italian tourists to come and stay with them so that they could put me through college. So when I went through college, I got an offer of a scholarship, and I said no, because I wanted to make money so I could repay them. And being the eldest in the family, my lasting memory was 2 days before Christmas, I lived in Dublin, and my parents lived in Wicklow, was getting loads of boxes and getting a little envelope with mum and dad a 2-week holiday to the Canaries, or to Cairo, or to Russia. They'd never been abroad. And I did this regularly, and I'd put it in an envelope, and then I put it in a small little shoebox, and then I put loads of paper on it, and then put it into a slightly larger box with stones, and then put loads of paper and sellotape, and then into a bigger box with more stones, and then a bigger box again, and I would spend maybe 3 or 4 hours doing this. And then I couldn't fit it out the door of the house, and I couldn't fit it in the car. And then bring it down to Wicklow, where my brother had to help me bring it in. And they were saying, this is a television, it's a television. And then they'd tear the bag open, and then they'd an envelope, and then they were going to Russia for 2 weeks or something on a holiday. And I did that a few years, and they absolutely loved it. And that was a great memory. It was a great memory. It was all the parceling and parceling and parceling. And most people would be out with their friends, but I remember staying at home, certainly 3 or 4 Christmases, on my own, parceling. Lots of sellotape, rolls of sellotape and black tape, so that on Christmas morning they were tearing this apart, and then box, and then box, and then box, and then there was an envelope, you know. So that was a great memory, yeah.
Absolutely.
Also, my daughter Kirsten, I got a Santa Claus hired a few years ago, and I woke her up at 5:30 in the morning, and the Santa Claus was out in the front door with a beautiful big white golden husky dog or something, and he was ringing his bell, and she nearly jumped out the window to try and get outside. And we ran down to get him, but he had already flown off in his reindeer. That was a great memory, the joy that brought her, and putting out the little food for the reindeers and the Santa Claus, and they're great memories, yeah.
And what's your dream for the future?
Is to keep as happy and positive as I am, and to make other people around me. I have great friends. I have wonderful friends. Lisa's a huge, great support of my fiancée, and we've great times together. But I think it's just making other people happy. I mean, I love doing that, and I love being happy. And I'm very lucky because some people who are friends of mine suffer from depression because of the chemical imbalance. My chemical imbalance is I'm always happy. Yeah, it's great, thank God, and I'm very grateful for that. I think just being happy and healthy and enjoying as much time as I can with Kirsten. I enjoy time with Lisa anyway, but Kirsten is 2 or 3 days a week, and I love being with her. So I think that's one thing. And I'm also trying to continue to help others. It's very important to help others. It's difficult in these times, but you've got to do it. I mean, you've got to do it. And you've got to every day wake up and say, it's another great day. We're very lucky, and it's lovely to be alive, and let's get on with it.
And of course, you were saying about Lisa, and what can you tell us about, the preparation of your wedding?
Yeah.
How it's going?
Yeah, great. Yeah. We've done nothing.
Yeah, great.
I mean, hold on a second. I better give her a call and just find out if she's done anything. Lisa, have you done anything about the wedding? No,
surprise.
It's right. It'll happen fairly quickly, I'd say, next year with the help of God. Yeah. We move that way. We don't hang around. I mean, in the sense of with the help of God, it'll all work out fine. We haven't done a lot yet. We're going to get married in Cork, and we're asking everybody to attend, not to bring presents. There will be about 350, maybe 400 guests, to bring to make a donation to a special needs school, Skull Trieste in Cork. It's for special needs children. They need the money. So rather than bringing gifts, just that's the one thing we decided. And Lisa may have a hen party, like a fashion show and dinner we're very close and great friends of Neil Prendeville in Cork, who is the boardwalk, so we may go there, and she may go there, and the money then to another charity, and I might have a golf outing, and that will go to another charity. So it's trying to give back rather than, take it. So that's the only thing we've decided.
And tell us, anything else that maybe, you would like to say, to our public?
No, except keep watching, be happy, be positive. Do not be influenced by the few people in Irish media who are all the time, just every day, going on so depressing. I mean, let's get a new program on this station, which is the Good News program. You're going to host it.
Absolutely.
You're going to host it, and it's all good news. So today we have an hour of good news starting, and I think the whole country will tune in.
I agree with you. So why don't we do this?
I think we should.
Okay.
And a good news story, and all the good news. And
yes,
I think it's fantastic.
We all need to know positiveness.
We have to have that because, and the people who are complaining and moaning all the time are people who, if they were in other walks of life and helping special needs teachers and those who are mentally disabled and physically disabled who have real problems, I think it would cause them to reassess their situation and say maybe things aren't as bad as we think. We have to help those who are unemployed. We have to help those who are on the breadline, those who are poor. At the same time, we don't want to have a social welfare system that Britain had in the 70s where it pays people not to work. I mean, that's also a problem. But at the moment, that's not the case. I think we just got to make sure that doesn't happen. And just stop moaning all the time. Let's get on with it and let's enjoy life as best we can. And thank God every day that we're having a good day.
That's a great message. Gerald, thank you so much for this interview. It's fantastic to meet you.
Fantastic to meet you too.
Thank you.